Well, welcome to Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast. A podcast providing education, information, and mostly inspiration that will help you become the best version of yourself. Join host Jackie Boyd for engaging and intriguing conversations. Now, Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 7th episode of Trust and Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast. Can you believe we're at episode 7? The Jackie Boyd Podcast is all about bringing you information, education, but mostly inspiration to help you become the best version of yourself. We're on every second and fourth Tuesday of the month on all your major podcast platforms. So listen, if we've said anything or if you heard anything that you like, we want you to like and share. Let somebody else know that we're providing people who have something to say on the Jackie Boyd Podcast. Mm-hmm. And tonight I am so excited because I have two very special people here. And tonight's topic is bridging the generational divide. Okay, so I have a millennial, my daughter, Miss Chelsea Boyd, and I have a Gen Z, my daughter, Miss Camille Boyd, and I am a boomer. And we're going to talk about bridging the generational divide. Mm-hmm. You know, because I know a lot of parents, a lot of my friends, sometimes they wonder how they can communicate with their young adults, mm-hmm. how they can communicate with their teenagers. Sometimes there's just a divide that needs to be bridged. And then sometimes the young adults and the teenagers want to know how to talk to their parents. So this show tonight is going to be for everybody. If you're a parent out there trying to figure out, man, how can I reach my young adults? Or if you're a young adult or a teenager wondering, man, why is my parent from Mars? We're really not.
No.
But seriously, we want to talk about that tonight because that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. So girls, welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having
us. Absolutely. So guys, listen, we just want this to be a real easy conversation. Yeah. A real honest conversation because we're out there are people out there really with that question. You know, how do I reach my kids? And there are kids and young adults and teenagers that say, my parents just don't understand. Yeah. So we want to be able to provide some insight for them tonight to figure out maybe they can hear something that you guys say or something that I say that can help them bridge that divide.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So first of all, do you think there is a divide? I'm a boomer, right? Millennial, Gen Z. Mm-hmm. And, you know, sometimes I've heard you guys even say, you just don't get it, Mom. Right. You know what I mean? And I've talked to other young adults who say, my parents just don't understand me. Mm-hmm. And then parents get frustrated. So just open up about that. Just kind of dive in and let's see what we can come up with here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think, and we talked about this, when it comes to the generational gap, I think when I was younger and speaking from my own experience, I felt like there was a huge gap. Mm-hmm. And this year I've entered into my 30s and I realized like in the latter half of my 20s, there were a lot of lessons that you taught me that I just didn't fully grasp until I entered into adulthood. Mm-hmm. And I think it's about a balance of perspective. So we joke about this. We said, you know, there were some things that you did and we didn't understand it at first, but now that we're older, we do, like whether it's something big or small. Okay. So I think it's just a balancing act and you kind of have to go through life to really understand like, okay, my mom really knew what she was talking about.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there is definitely a gap. Like, I think there's definitely like lapses in communication or lapses in how we think about things. Mm-hmm. I think something that plays a huge role into it is like social media and how that really like took off when we were growing up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we have access to so many people's thoughts,
lives,
and like in a way that we've never had access to before. And I don't think that we were ever supposed to have this much access to. And so I think a lot of that can very easily shape young people's opinions and perceptions and like different things. And so I think that because like it was something that became like even me to like the kids that are like young ones in our opinion, right? Like Lucia Eiley, like 12 and 8, right? Like they'll say certain things and I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we saying? You know what I'm saying? So I think like, you know, for us, it was like the development of it. And for them, it's like their deep deep ingrained into it because it's just taken off over the past few years.
Got it. So guys, do you think that with social media, it really puts the world at your fingertips?
Yes.
Right. And so I can imagine that can take the place for kids, for young adults. That's their authority. And that can replace in their mind their parents.
Right.
So talk to the audience about that, like how social media has helped or hindered the communication between parents and young adults.
Totally.
Yeah.
One of you guys can start.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's both. Like, it helps and it hinders. You know, the thing about social media, I mean, I think about social media when we were growing up, we really only had the emerging Facebook, MySpace. I mean, I was heavily into Tumblr. And even then, you saw kind of like the negative parts of social media when it came to the influence of it, when it came to comparison. And I remember just being on social media or on Facebook or MySpace, looking at other people wanting to be something that I wasn't. So I can't even imagine being young now with all of the access that they have. But it's, again, a blessing and a curse because that information is necessary to remain educated, like depending on how it's being used. But also, like how Camille was saying, like the accessibility, I don't think was never meant to be this grand.
Our brains are not like scientifically,
Programmed.
our brains are not programmed.
Right.
It's information overload. Like, we're not supposed to know this many people's thoughts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you just think about that in and of itself, like, you're before social media, I mean, we don't have to go like before phones or anything. Like, but like before that, you had your community, the people that you knew, and like there was a level of like, you know, patience involved in like relationship building and like things like that. With everything how it works now, it's just like things are
just right at your fingertips.
They're so instant. I just think it definitely has an impact on how we communicate with each other, with people with age differences. Like, it's tough. I also think too, something that I'm seeing, like, I feel like young people don't have like young spaces. Like, young people want to shop at like Fashion Nova and like the places that grown people like shop or like whatever. Like, when we were growing up, we had like
Limited Too, yes.
You know, like all of those things. And like, I think social media plays a bit of a role in that too, because there's not really there's supposed to be this like divide between young people things and like adult things, but when it's all just jumbled in one place and it's hard to like sort through, like, I don't know, it just makes it difficult.
It makes it difficult. So I think I've heard a lot of my friends with teenage kids say that they have to compete with social media. So their kids have access to it and they're listening to everybody on social media, everybody's TikTok, everybody's Instagram, and that's what they're using as their authority. And so parents have to compete with that.
Compete with it,
So I think from a parent's perspective, I've heard you guys say it to me, like, you have to listen. And Camille, in particularly, is always challenging me with, you know what, your perspective is your perspective. You have to hear and listen, just listen. And so I know sometimes I grew up with the era of, you know, you because I just said so. Do it because I said so. You know. Now I think there's a six in one hand, half a dozen in the other with that. The reality is, I don't want to have to explain every single detail to you because as a parent, we're charged with protecting you and guiding you. And so if I have to explain every little reasoning behind why I'm telling you to do something, we may be in a situation where it's dangerous and you're wanting explanation. There is not time for that. At the same time, when a young adult is coming to their parent with something that is bothering them or something emotionally that's triggering something, you do have to listen. Just be quiet. And listen. So speak to that. Camille, you first.
I think there's a few things, because we do talk about things like this, like a lot, like different scenarios and stuff like that. Like, I think when it comes to kids and like, I think when kids have like inquisitive minds, like they want to know things, they want to understand the reasoning behind things. And I think for a lot of kids, especially kids who are very bright or like really eager to learn, or you know, kids with different like learning abilities, disabilities, whatever it might be, like they want to know the reasoning, or else it's not going to stick to them.
Right.
It's not going to make sense, and they're not going to want to do it, and they'll do it because you said so, but then on their own time they'll do whatever they want,
Right.
so they can
To
learn
get the
on their
answer.
own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think there's that aspect of it. I think like also as I don't know, I think like when I nannied like Lucia and Eiley, like I just learned a lot about like kids and like dealing with kids and whatever, and like
Lucy and Ali are my nieces, and your
Yeah.
cousins.
Our cousins, and they're 12 and 4, and I babysat, nannied them when they were 4 and 8.
Yeah.
I said 12 and 4. They're 12 and 8. I babysat them when they were 8 and 4.
Right.
So 4 years ago, and so like just learning about them, like a lot of times for kids, like their responses to things are so large because like, this is the first time they're experiencing anything to the degree that they've felt it before. Like these are the first time they're experiencing these kinds of emotions or whatever. And so like navigating that, like it does take a lot of patience, and
It does.
Us as the adults, like it is our job because we have more experience, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, whatever. It is our job to be a bit more patient and to really listen to where they're coming from. And try and understand them so that we can talk to them in a way that they can receive.
Got it.
Correct. So I don't know, that it's something I think about a lot. I think I just went on a tangent, but like, I definitely think we are charged with like listening and helping them to get them to make decisions better on their own.
Yes.
Empowering them to make decisions.
Exactly. Empowering them with the knowledge that they need to be able to make sound decisions on their own. I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah. And it's a confidence booster too. It's like you now have the power because of the relationship that you had with your parents who made it very open to have that dialogue and communication, and I'm listening to you, but also balancing that with, well, here is the reason why. You know, you're teaching your kids how to be confident in the real world, to stand firm on one, how they're feeling, and two, how to communicate how they're feeling. You know, there were oftentimes even in my personal experience where I felt like, you know, I would be afraid to say something, or, you know, I would shut down, and that's not how you would move in the real world. You know, when it comes to human connection, it comes down to how we can listen to each other, how we can be empathetic, and how we can be confident on saying the things that we feel, you know?
Right. And that's a key thing, being confident.
Yeah.
We parents have such a influence over the confidence that their kids have.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that we're really helping when in essence we could actually be hindering or harming, not intentionally, obviously.
Right.
Because
it's all out of love.
It's all out of love.
Right.
Because every parent, every good parent wants to love their kids and they want them to be successful and to be confident. So, great. So a confident booster starts with you knowing that you're being heard. Got it. You know that you're being heard. Okay. And then not only being heard, but understood.
And having the agency to like make decisions.
Yes.
I think confidence comes a lot from that. Like when you're in a space where like everything is decided on for you. Like it takes away your ability to choose. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes away your ability to decide things, and then you get into the real world and you don't know how to make decisions, and you don't know how to reason through, you know, and you're likely very anxious because you're stuck trying to grapple through making decisions that you've never had to make before. So I think like agency is a huge thing that kids need to, you know, their kids' parents needs to learn to like to help them grow.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift a little bit because I also have a son who was supposed to be here tonight, but he had a conflict. So do you all think that, because in our household, you guys worked with your dad until the age of
13, 12,
10, Joe was 8 because he passed away. Okay. Do you think that is easier for daughters to connect with moms? I mean, naturally you would think that.
Right.
But let's talk a little bit about the dynamic between daughters and mothers. Because sometimes you see yourself, I know for sometimes mothers might see themselves in their daughters and things they didn't particularly care about for themselves, and they may project that onto their daughters. You know what I mean? And that could be one reason for the divide in communication. You know what I mean? Talk to me about your thoughts about that.
You can go first.
That's tough.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And that's a different even... I never thought of that. You know, how as a mom you could project that onto your daughters.
I'm going to tell you, a lot of things, whether you're in a parent-child relationship, any type of relationship, a lot of things that we express come from a place of fear. We're afraid of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and here's the thing, just because we're parents, just because God, and that's a God-given responsibility and role, doesn't mean that we know everything.
Yeah.
We learn a lot of stuff from you guys. So, you know, it's really, it's really amazing. And really just, I was reading something and talking to some other friends. And so sometimes the very thing that you knew that you did not do well, or something that you made a huge mistake on, if you see your daughter or your child walking in that same vein, right, guess what?
You try to,
you try to rein that in.
Right.
And so it could come across in a way that can really, really break down the communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So just, I kind of took that in a different direction, but I just want to hear your thoughts about your relationship with your mother. I have to be your mother, but just mother and daughter relationships, and what sometimes that looks like in terms of trying to really, because right now, as you get older, you become friends.
Yes.
And I used to say, you know what, God called me to be your mom first.
Oh, yes.
Not your friend. And I'd rather be the mother. And prayerfully down the road, we can build that friendship.
Absolutely.
But I have to be the mom first.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
Man, I mean, our relationship, I think for me growing up, I would forget that you're a woman yourself, you know, and that you have feelings, and everything that you had going on that we didn't even know about. And me just thinking, my mom is not hearing me. My mom is not, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like you're taking care of an entire household. So I think when it comes to just like young women, daughters, or even just kids in general, not really seeing the full scope of things because they don't really have that capacity to at that moment, can hinder the relationship to begin with, you know, and not understanding someone else's point of view.
Got it.
Because at the end of the day, I only had to take care of myself.
Right.
Look after my brothers and sisters as the older sister, but at the end of the I just really had myself.
Right.
You know, so I think that can even be the start of like what that gap looks like, at least for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. Like, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been able to understand you more. Like, I think that we are like two different sides of the same coin. And we used to say that a lot. And so, like, when I was growing up, y'all, like, I like tormented my mom. Like, I was really
tormented.
It's like embarrassing to like think about now, because like, I think like, and I used to say all the time, like, anytime we would like spar or like argue or like whatever it was, like, I'd be like, okay, but nobody gets under my skin like you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the things that bother me, and you do those things. Like, and it was, I don't think it was ever like that. Like, it was never intentionally that. Like, as I got older, like, same with what Chelsea said, like, you're literally like a human being. And so like, you had Chelsea at 30. Like, I'm 27, Chelsea's 30 now. What the heck would we be doing with kids right now?
I have no idea.
Like,
and you had 3 of them.
And you had 3.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, thinking about that alone, like, you know, I'm thinking about the way that I take care of myself, or sometimes lack, or like the way, like, sometimes my lacking structure or routine and like different things, like, to having a child at that time, like, I don't know, it's just like an insane thing to think about. So I think like as I got older, as I grew into adulthood, and I think once I was out on my own, like, I think when I was in high school, it was tough for us, but it was something about like me moving away, like, I'm at Howard, I'm 600 miles away, and like, I needed you. And like, I missed you, and I needed someone. I needed to feel like I had an anchor, and that was you. And so like, we talked literally every day,
right?
And literally like intentionally developed what I can now call like a real genuine like friendship. Like, we talk about like real stuff. Like, we talk about boy problems, and we talk about, you know, just everything. Like, I feel like there's nothing that's not on the table for us to like discuss and talk about.
Yeah.
But it took some time to like get there, you know?
Yeah.
And some distance.
A little distance.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So really the silver the rainbow
Yeah.
is that, and I've shared this with my friends who had, daughters,
Yeah.
and they were like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I would say to them, it gets better.
It gets better. It really does. It takes time, and I think even just like you and Nanny's relationship, your mom, it took time, and that's your, what did you call her the other day?
My ride or die.
Your ride or die. What did you, administrator or someone?
Oh yeah, that's my personal assistant.
Your personal assistant.
Yeah.
But it's just, she is literally your everything. And that's how you are for us now. And it really does take time for us to just get out of our own head and our own way and have a perspective that is bigger than just what we're dealing. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone's the center of their own universe.
Yes.
I think so. And especially growing up, as a kid, as a young adult, all you can think about is the stuff you have going on.
Right.
Correct.
So but everybody thinks that way. So to expect, we hope and expect for the people that are closest to us to be able to get out their own perspective and see ours, but that takes time. It takes learning.
Right.
It takes a willingness
to do that,
and from you to me to learn you as a person and not just as a mom.
Yes.
When I got outside of just seeing you just as my mom and as a whole person, whole emotions outside of anything that has to do with me, a whole life with people that I might know or might not know. You know what I'm saying? You live a very whole and full life. So I think it just takes it takes a willingness to do the exchange and do the work to build the relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I say this even just with any relationship, in order for a relationship to work, it has to be just rooted in love. Relationships are hard, but it shouldn't not necessarily feel hard, but it just comes easy when at the end of the day, it's rooted in, I love you. You love me. I unconditionally love you. Let's work this out.
Right.
We have different philosophies, sure. We have things that we might not agree on, sure. But at the end of the day, we love each other and we want to be in each other's lives. I value you in my life, mother, sister, brother, whoever.
That's right.
Let's come together and how Camille was saying, have the willingness to be open, come together and talk things through.
That's right.
To keep the relationship and nurture it.
That's right. That's right.
And something that I often say about I think what I really like most about our family, I think we really know each other.
Yeah.
And I feel there's so many families who are they're family and they're cool and they're good, but they don't know
each other.
You might not know every single thing about me, but I don't think there's anything that you don't know that I've done or that I would do or whatever that would surprise you, because at the end of the day, you know me as a whole person. You know who I am, and there's nothing that would leave you shell shocked. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't mean that there's things that I'm not embarrassed to share with you or whatever the case is, but you know me.
Right.
So and same with Chelsea, same with Joe. I think that we have taken the time over it took some years.
Right.
But I think we've taken the time to just really
know
learn
each other.
and know one another, know our patterns, know our tendencies, know the things that get under our skin, know our triggers, and know what we enjoy, what we dislike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that takes a lot of work. It takes work. It takes work.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing what you guys are saying, that it's intentional.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple of things. One, as kids and young adults who don't have the emotional intelligence or the wherewithal to know that they have to do that. I think the onus is more on the parent, regardless, because they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the emotional intelligence to know that I have to. Like you just said, my mom is a whole person. They don't know to think that.
Right.
So I think during those times, it's really on the parent to just hunker down. It's going to be rough. You know what I mean?
Have some patience.
Have some patience.
Yeah.
And just tough it out.
Yeah.
It has happened to generations before us and generations before them. Right? Just keep, and as the good book says, train up a child the way he should go. And when he's older, he won't depart.
Yeah.
So as parents, we have to keep pouring in.
Yeah.
And as my pastor would say, a good parent talks until they're blue in the face.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't know that you're hearing it, but it's actually going in. Is it going in?
It's going in. Listen, it might have been 10 years later, but it's catching. Listen, there are things that we'll say and do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the spirit of Jacqueline. That's the spirit of Jacqueline right there.
Seriously.
So it definitely comes around. And I even think being in management and managing people, that is the biggest reflection as far as just, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about everybody. And how many times have I come to you, venting to you about my day, and I'm just like, you done taught me this maybe like a few years ago, But I think another thing too, as far as like hunkering down and like toughing it out, like you remained present in our lives and what we did on a day-to-day basis. You knew what we loved to do. Like we would have those bonding experiences. Like we still consider each other the Fantastic Four. And I think that's also a way to know who we are just as people, as your daughters and your sons, like you were present, we would do family outings. Like we would go to the movies, skate station for days. Like we just would do things to where we would still bond, and it wouldn't necessarily be just, you were still our parent at the end of the day, but also like we just had those like memorable experiences for us to get to know each other. And now we're doing it even more so as adults.
Got it. So for the parent, just hang in there. It does get better.
It gets better.
Let's transition. So the young adult is now, the teenager is now a young adult, maybe in college or working or whatever. Tell me, because you touched on a little bit, what you now have to do, because now your parent is older, right? They're, obviously 20 years have gone by. They're 20 years older. When do you have to now take on some of that emotional intelligence responsibility to say, you know what, my mom or my dad is a person? Like, what? Tell me about that transition for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like when I got to college and like was able to just like, I was on my own. I'm like, this is hard. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think also being so far away from home, it was like, and of course, like I went to Howard. We have family in Maryland, so it's not like I was far from anybody or whatever. But I'm also like very independent and want to try and do things on my own. That agency thing, you know what I'm saying? I want to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I think as I was doing that, I was like, this is really tough. Like, what is going on here? And just like adulting in general, like I was like, wow.
Maybe
she knew a little something.
Yes.
Maybe it was tough for her too.
Like,
like it was just, I don't know. I think sometimes, and it sucks that we're like this as humans, but like sometimes you cannot empathize with something until you experience it yourself. It shouldn't have to be like that. You should be able to see something and have empathy. But again, center of our own universe. And kid. So there's just like a level of immaturity there. I don't know. As you get older, it's just easier to see like how things work and how difficult it is to like, navigate it all. Like as an adult, like I was reading something on Twitter the other day, and it was like, if you could explain adulthood in 3 words, what would it be? And the words are, it's always something.
It's always something.
It's
like you already figured something out. You think you get a break.
And now it's
something else.
Oh my God. Like it's all, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so like understanding that, it's like, okay, like you deserve so much grace for just like, for handling all of your own stuff, handling all of our stuff, and then also like being a good parent, like being present, showing up, taking us to the practices, coming to the recitals, doing all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, and doing it alone for 3. So like, there's so much to think about there. Like, I owe you so many thank yous and apologies for just all of the, you know, the ways that I tormented you.
Tormented.
Wow. You wasn't by yourself. I had my fair share.
You all did.
Not too much. Not too much.
Right. We turned it around.
Not too much. We're friends now.
We won't go back.
I'll say too, even now, like we have like disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Like we have things that we genuinely like fundamentally do not and likely will not ever see eye to eye on. But I think now, like knowing you, knowing how you talk and receive things, you knowing how I talk and receive things, like
people
we're
as just
able to do that, take our little, you know, whatever, if we need a little space, like I can't believe she didn't understand that, whatever, take our little whatever, and we're fine. Like it's not like, you know, big like super emotional,
Right.
Yeah.
whatever, like when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Got it.
And I think the same was for me too when I was in college and then dropped out. And then I saw how serious like life could get. And it wasn't even in that moment. I think in that moment I was so within myself and just upset that I just messed up to where I projected how down bad I felt. And it wasn't until I got myself back up that I realized that the whole time you were giving us the tools to get back up on our feet, have grit, have resilience. And there would be times where I would, get back on my feet and I'm like, dang, like you really set a foundation. You really did. Whether I found it to be annoying, or like another lecture, like, but it essentially, you really provided us the tools to succeed. I think the biggest thing that I'm thankful of is you introducing us to Christ, and letting that be the foundation. I remember you giving us a lecture and you were like, listen, no matter how far you go, you have legacy upon legacy upon legacy praying for you. You have a village praying for you to where you will feel it if it's not there in your life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Like I didn't realize that then, but like now I'm like, wow, I'm so thankful of that. So I think again, just seeing us as just human beings, and it is very unfortunate that we have to go through our own stuff to do that. But I think if you start that relationship early, and it's a balance of giving us the tools, but also listening to each other, maybe that could, it doesn't have to take until that point for a teenager or a young adult to be like,
Okay. So listening on the parent side, listening, providing the tools, giving them the agency. And that goes to maybe trusting your kids a little. Just you got to give a little bit, maybe not a full throttle of something, but trusting them with small things that they can be responsible for. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So listening, trusting, giving the tools, and being present. Got it.
And I think another thing too is making yourself a really safe space for them.
Okay.
Like, I think that kids want to feel like they have someone they can run to, even if they're in trouble, even if they've done something wrong. I think it makes the whole environment so much safer because your kid is willing to tell you what they have going on if you allow yourself, before you react in a way that's like, grr, reacting in a way that's like, listening, understanding, making sure you're safe. I think when I've seen kids that like, or even people our age that have had, like, they didn't have to like wait until college to grow an insane, like, really good relationship with their parents. Like, I think that is what made all the difference. The relationship was really real at that point, and then just continued to grow. And like, not that we're not there, we're there, you know what I'm saying? But like, they just got there a little faster. And I think it just seemed like their parents made it so that they had agency, they could make decisions, and they could make the wrong decisions
and confident enough to tell you,
and feel safe enough and confident enough to tell you, and ask for your help. Like, I feel like those are really too.
And I'll double down on that as well, because just being in leadership, this has taught me like how you provide feedback to somebody, it's not going to be the same for somebody else because of you knowing who that person is and how they take in. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing your child, your friend, whoever you're talking to, and knowing how they receive feedback. So you might have a child that like, I need to give them like straight shooter. You know what I'm saying? That is how they receive like what I'm trying to tell them. Others might be a little bit more sensitive or timid. So it's like you going down on them like a straight shooter, like your other child who can receive that might not receive that the same way. They just see it as she's yelling at me, like, or she's not hearing me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to approach everybody differently. So that way based on them. And the only way that you can do that is if you know them, you know?
Wow, this is good stuff, girl. I love it. I remember, this is a funny story. I remember Camille was in school and she called me once and she's like, Mom, is it normal for a daughter and mom to go to the strip club together?
Oh,
I was like, what?
no.
She said, Mom, is that normal? And I'm like, it's not normal for us. We don't do that.
Right. But
Right.
for some.
Right.
For some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Would you now?
No. See, you're going to deal with here.
I'm just wondering. I'm just asking.
No. So, but guys, thank you so much. I mean, and again, we wanted to provide information to parents and to young adults to help bridge the divide. And like you said, as you get older, that divide is not so wide as you think. It begins to close, it begins to close.
Yeah.
But I think the takeaways are you have to listen, right? You have to provide the tools,
Yeah.
right? You have to provide the agency,
Yes.
right? And you have to know, you have to be present, right? And just know each individual child.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody is not going to respond the same way. And at the end of the day, what you're hoping to get with anybody, whether you're raising children or whether you're managing people, is you want to maximize their value and their talents.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do I maximize the most from you? How do I maximize the most from you? Because you could be raised in the same household, same parents, in day and night.
Yeah.
So you do absolutely have to know each individual child, and you have to be able to know what gets them and what do you have to do to get the most from them,
right?
And to help them become confident and believe in themselves. So,
absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Do we have time for one more question?
We do.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, what have you learned from us, your 3 kids?
Absolutely. I mean, you guys have taught me to listen. Okay, you've taught just what we were just talking about, because I am that straight shooter person. I'm gonna give it to you straight. Straight, no chaser. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to know something, if you don't want to know something, don't ask me.
Don't tell me.
I'm learning that I have to understand what I just said. I'm saying it with so much conviction because I've had to do it. You know what I mean? And you guys have helped me understand that you have to listen. You just be quiet for a minute. Like they'll tell me, calm down, sit down, calm down, slow down for a minute. Just hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I try to temper that with, but I am the parent. I'm the CEO of the ship. You know. However, I still have to be able to understand that you guys are just like you had to understand. I'm just not a parent.
Correct.
I'm a person.
Yes.
You guys are not just the children. You're people.
Yeah.
With emotions, going through a lot of stuff. You know, there's a tsunami going on, like a lot of times when you're growing up and adolescence and all that stuff.
Yes.
So it's really up to us to stop and be still and listen and understand. And even with all of that, there's still going to be, you know, some
always it's
some
people. Yeah.
But you guys have definitely taught me that. And just for the record, so I was like 1 down, 2 to go, 2 down, 1 to go. Joe changed all the rules. He changed the whole plan. He changed like, oh no, I'm watching. I'm not gonna fall in line with that. I'm gonna do it my way. So I had to, oh Lord. But no, even with that, I've had to understand, even being a single mom raising a man child.
Yeah.
You know, without his father.
Different.
And for you moms out there who are single moms raising a son, it's so important to find mentors in their life.
Yeah.
And because a mother cannot teach a young man how to be a man. You know what I mean? So you have to find a safe place and safe people who can pour into them.
For sure.
Thank you guys so much.
Love you, Mom.
Love you.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I hope that what you heard tonight is something that you can take away to help your relationship with your millennial or your Gen Z. And at the end of the day, at those that you love, your legacy, right? It is so important for us as parents and young adults and children to work together, to communicate, to talk, to be heard, to listen, and most of all, to love.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we are on every second and fourth Tuesday of the month on all your major podcast platforms, and we are bringing you information, education, but mostly inspiration to help you become the best version of yourself. If you've heard anything here tonight that you like, please share, tune in, tell your friends. We want to be able to bring you information from people who have something to say. And these chicks definitely had something to say tonight.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Likes.
Subscribe.
Like
Today.
Today.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode of Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boyd podcast. We hope this episode has left you informed, intrigued, and inspired to become your best self. Remember to tune in every second and fourth Tuesday of the month and trust, then know.